So what I'm going to go through today is a little bit on kind of high performance and life. So we've got business owners in here, we've got people who work for a business, and I think it's really important that we don't change when we 9 o'clock on a Monday. We're still the same person, whether that be on the weekend with a family or at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning when we step into that workplace. So I'm hopefully going to give you some information, but some strategies that you can take away from that. All right, so you can jump on the next slide, thank you. So a really quick introduction about me. So I've got a face-to-face gym facility in Maltby, and very family orientated. I'm actually a semi-pro football referee on the National League. So not quite the rugby that obviously here, but hopefully I can resonate that I'm involved in kind of high performance sport as well, just from a different perspective. And then quite enjoy, so that photo there was a 44 kilometre ultra run that I did, like the High Roxers, quite involved in sport myself. So I like to think that my background's strong, and I did a degree in sport and exercise science as well. So these are just a couple of qualifications that I've got, including sports massage, cancer rehabilitation, box size, PT, gym instructor, and the degree that I did, which was all about office workers and a HIT trial. So my kind of studying was a lot around office workers, quite sedentary people that were sat down behind a desk for long periods of time. So high performance, what is it? So that can often be kind of seen in many different ways. But for me, it's not always about working harder. It kind of can resonate in a lot of different ways, whether that be performance in terms of physical capacity, if that is mental clarity, that emotional resilience. So when things get a little bit more difficult emotionally, how resilient are you to this? And if these are going to improve across the board, not just in a specific area, what that can mean is productivity improves as a response to that. And that's whether you're leading the business or you're working and you're a fundamental part inside of it. So for high performance, for me, there's kind of 4 main requirements, and I'll touch on these things, and hopefully I can give you a little bit of information on them, but some things to take away. So it's all around training, nutrition, lifestyle and sleep. They're the main key fundamentals for me, that if you put all of these together and you address all of these areas, that's what's going to result in high performance. So I'm going to give a little bit of an open to the room now. So obviously everyone wants to perform well at work, whether that's your business, you own the business, you want it to do well, or as an employee. So nobody wants low energy. You don't want to feel run down. And at the end of the week, you don't just want to be thinking, I'm done. I can't enjoy the weekend with my family because work's just drained everything out of me. So quick show of hands, and I'm guessing nobody will. Nobody likes getting ill. Nobody likes low energy. Nobody enjoys poor sleep, brain fog, or feeling flat by the afternoon. After that lunch break and it's 1 o'clock and you're thinking, I've still got 4 hours to go. Nobody wants that, and hopefully I can give you a little bit of information on that and how to reduce that. But certainly I've been there in the past, and I'm sure a lot of you, some of them resonate with you and you've been there in the past. So for me, it's how do we stop that happening? How do we put some key strategies in place? So does optimizing your health, does it sound like a good idea? Because for me it does, and hopefully regardless if it's yourself or your employees, if you can optimize that, it's only going to become as a positive impact and a knock-on effect for yourself. So work and life performance is linked, and that's what I touched on at the start. You don't switch bodies at 9 a.m. when you walk into work on a Monday morning. You're the same person regardless of what happens. How you sleep, how you eat, how you recover outside of work is going to directly affect your energy levels, your focus, decision making, but ultimately how you handle stress at work. Every day is going to be different stresses are going to be put onto the body. So what we want to do is look how them habits outside of at work actually show up at work, and how that impacts performance that you see. So the common reality, a lot of us have poor sleep hygiene, we have poor sleep, low energy at work, and it feels like a bit of a chore to get through the end of the day. We have a reliance on caffeine. Caffeine can be great, but a lot of people drink coffee so much, I know that's quite fitting with their coffee here, which can give reduced recovery, and we just repeat that cycle. So what I'm going to look at now is we've got the caffeine cycle, if it's not used correctly. We're coming back on. That's it, so if you can flick on for me, thank you. So caffeine half-life, so when we consume caffeine, it can stay in the body for 5, 6, 7 hours. And if we're having caffeine later on in the day, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, when you go to sleep, that can actually play a part in your kind of sleep and the rhythm of your sleep, which can then lead you to having poor sleep, which then has a knock-on effect because you need the caffeine to stay alert, and then that cycle can go round and round. So caffeine's brilliant. It can support sports performance, but it doesn't rebuild it, all right? So it's about knowing when to use it, but also when it's going to hinder and impact your sleep, which is going to have a knock-on effect moving forward. So we're going to have a quick look at sleep and poor performance. So it can improve attention in terms of reaction time if you've got good quality sleep. It can improve memory. It can improve learning. It can reduce errors in day-to-day life in terms of your decision making, and people who are at work unwell, and it can support immune function. So as an employee, as somebody who's kind of owning a business, that could be better decisions, fewer mistakes, which is then going to give you higher productivity, which is then hopefully is going to kind of compound, which will benefit you in the long term. We've then got lifestyle and performance. So as I said, what you do outside of work is going to directly impact how you are. So it can improve stress regulation. It can improve how you emotionally control yourself. When pressures are rising, it can help with that decision making under pressure. And like we alluded to earlier, the risk of burnout is only going to decrease if your lifestyle's kind of covered. And again, that's going to have a workplace impact, better communication, resilient teams across the board, and improved consistency. We've got nutrition. So what you put in your body, it's like a car. The better fuel you put in your body, the better output, the better economy that is going to come. So is it going to stabilize energy levels? It's going to stop that mid-afternoon lull. It's going to improve concentration, reduce energy crashes later on in the day, and give you that consistent output that you're looking for. And that's one thing that most people see, especially in an office, is that afternoon when the energy levels start to decrease later on in the day. So it's going to reduce these. It's going to get you better focus, better decision making, and a more consistent productivity through the day. We've then got training. So the gym, obviously it spoke about a lot that the gym environment is a great place to be, and it's going to massively help, but it's going to help in terms of your endorphins, your physical endorphins, how you focus, your mental clarity, the improved mood that you're going to see, how many times you wake up, you think, oh, don't really fancy it. You go to the gym and suddenly you're feeling so much more energized, so much more awake. You're going to sleep better because of it, and it's going to reduce that sickness absence, which is going to have then knock-on effect again. Energy levels are going to increase, stress tolerance is going to increase, and fewer sick days. So they're all coming around to them same impacts and what's happening as a response to that. And then the key insights on the business. And this is what, when health is ignored, you're generally going to have people that are having more sick days, more people unwell at work. You've got that poor communication and that lower consistency and output. So we're just going round to these key kind of areas. And again, what I want to do now is give you a couple of strategies that hopefully, if you can take some of these on board, is going to help improve you as an employee, as a business owner. And it's not about trying to kind of cover everything straight away. It's small habits, is which I'm going to kind of cover now. So ask yourself, honestly, how is your energy most days? How would you find it? Do you sleep well? Is that something you think is good? How focused do you think you are at work? And how often do you feel run down? And it's not about identifying everything and trying to conquer everything, because that's not where it's sustainable. What you want to do is look at your weakest link and what can I do to start doing that and seeing it like bricks, stacking bricks on each other step by step, and that's only going to improve your habits across the long term. So I'm just going to give you 4 kind of areas to work on, strategies for each area. So the first one is training, movement. So whether that be 2 or 3 sessions a week, they don't have to be really long sessions. That could just be 20, 30 minute sessions, or even 30 to 45, whatever time you've got available, make it work around you. That could be a combination of strength, just daily movement, walking, just some basic movement is going to help in terms of from a movements perspective. We've got nutrition, so the fuel, what you put in your body. So making sure you're eating regular meals. You're not skipping breakfast, lunch, so you're stabilising your energy levels and your blood sugars throughout the day. You're prioritising protein, whole foods, and you're ensuring you're drinking the water and you're staying hydrated. The lifestyle, how you put your routine across the board. So setting a consistent wake up time. So you're not getting up at midday on a Saturday and Sunday, 5 a.m. in the midweek, trying to stabilise that to improve your sleep. Your daily routine, whether that be sleep hygiene before you go to bed, putting your phone away, so you know where your phone is, so you haven't got that bright light before that's going to impact your sleep. Not sitting on TikTok scrolling till silly o'clock in the morning. I know I've been there, we all have. And that building that clear work-home boundaries where possible. So you know when work's done, trying to find that difference that's going to take you away from work to improve that family and kind of balance as well with work and family. And then we've got recovery, again, aiming for that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, keeping that bedtime routine consistent, reducing caffeine early afternoon, and then reducing that screen time before bed to try and let that kind of nervous system settle down to give you good quality sleep. And that's exactly what I do. So I support performance one-to-ones. I work with workplaces, performance programs. I do group wellbeing delivery. So as I said, I've got a group studio in Maltby that I do kind of group sessions, PT. I do online one-to-one performance coaching, and that's all built around face-to-face, gym group sessions, online coaching. So I do a kind of range of different offers tailored to each individual. And the big question for me is, on the next slide, if I improve my health by just 10%, how much would that balance between work and life improve? So even if it was just a small margin that you could improve, how much benefit would you see across the board? And then, again, that's why I work with employees, I work with business owners around the world to help develop habits, improve their well-being, and break them poor habits. So if anyone does want to chat, I will be around for kind of for a bit after Tracy's talk, but my LinkedIn, my email address, my contact details in there. So if anyone does want to come and have a chat, even if it's just to give them a few, obviously I've only glossed over it there in terms of some strategies, but if anyone's struggling with anything individually, I'm more than happy to give you a little bit of advice or if anyone's got any questions after.